Welcome to the High Vibe Tribe, everybody.
Woo! Friday.
It is Friday, my friends. October 23rd, 1 week to Halloween and our global workshop. We like to give everybody a chance to get on with us so they get the alert that we are live in our group. We have an amazing guest today. Woohoo! She's right below me. Awesome. So excited. Woohoo! Joining with me today, part of our High Vibe Tribers, is the beautiful Ashley Mulchin, who is over there in our Hollywood squares. She's our energetic expert and breathing specialist. Like, did you ever wonder, like, am I breathing correctly?
Hope you're breathing. Keep breathing. Keep breathing.
Could I be breathing differently? Is there a better way to breathe? Never had that conversation with myself. Have you? If you're joining us, go ahead and give the live stream an opportunity to give them permission. Give them permission to post your name and your picture so we know you're here, and let us know where you are hailing from. Are you coming from the other side of the world? South America, North America, England, the Galapagos, the Maldives? Like, where are you hailing from? Let us know where that is and who you are. Thank you, Ashley. Woo. Well, we are all here. Take a minute to go onto Facebook, grab this live post right now, and please share it with your page. Please share it with your groups, so that way everyone knows where you are and what you're doing on Friday, live at 5. Woohoo! High five and you in the United States. Woohoo! Also with us is Janie Lynn, our Galactic Code decoder and director. She is in our, there she is, bottom right-hand corner.
Oh, wait.
I know, right?
You got
Getrude, you are now fully initiated in the pointing.
Yes.
No, it's that way.
Completely backwards. Woohoo! So let us know where you're hailing from. Love it. Woohoo! I could just feel the music. Like, we could dance for a whole hour. What do you think? Maybe, not so much, somewhat, kind of, sort of, or D, all the above.
That one.
Incredible, incredible. Our guest here today is Getrude Matsche. Did I say that right?
Matshe.
Matsche. I think it's the S.
It's the S that throws people off.
It does. And I want to say shh, because I have a Shatzer in my name with SH. So
Nice
yeah.
to meet you, everybody. Good to be here.
Welcome, welcome, Getrude. So before I introduce you with all of your incredible bio and information, like, thanks for joining us today. Glad you're here.
Absolute honor to be here.
How is it in New Zealand?
Oh, it's a beautiful day today. We are coming out of winter. Spring has sprung. The sun's shining. It's not so windy. It's not wet and raining. So beautiful day to be connecting with you this morning.
Nice. You have a beautiful print on that says spring. Spring.
Has sprung. Yes.
Spring me. And we're the opposite. We're in fall.
Yes. So you guys are getting ready to hibernate and go into winter.
Yes. In honor of that, I wore a turtleneck with no sleeves. This is considered the Florida winter wear.
Oh gosh. Okay. I need to come to Florida.
Yeah. So I know Janie is in Arizona and she's still in a tank top.
It's still warm here.
Nice. Incredible. Love it. And I love your painting in the background. That's a new background for us.
Yeah.
For us.
I'm in TJ's room, and I was given that, and I thought about giving it away, and TJ was like, no, when I get a room, I want it in my room. So I put it in his room.
Beautiful. And it speaks fall.
Yeah.
Fall and fashion.
Yeah.
Love it. Love those colors. Love, love, love. So awesome. Well, Gertrude, I have the honor and privilege of meeting you over a year ago. We were co-creating some interesting things together. And then, as most people know, the global pandemic hit and, our entire lives had to shift in a different direction. But, being steadfast in your mission and your vision, I'm going to share a little bit about everybody. And then I'd love for you to share where you came with the idea, how that came to you in a dream that you had. Does that sound okay?
That sounds good.
Excellent. So Getrude founded GM Global Investments Ltd. In 2003. She also founded Simzani. Am I saying that correct?
Simzisani.
Simzisani. It sounds Asian. Is that Asian?
No, it's actually African. It's an astronym of my children's names.
Wow. Founded Simziani. That is very unique. Very, very unique. It's a talent agency that caters for the film and advertising industry. It's instrumental in supporting ethnic extras for prominent movies such as Peter Jackson's King Kong and James Cameron's Avatar. Founder and CEO of the Africa Thrive Foundation, which supports HIV orphans in Zimbabwe. And that started in 2001. So you have your hands in a lot of different support groups, really. Like you are creating support for men and women and kids all around the world. You founded the Walk on the Wild Side Tours, and that is a symbolic tourism company that takes tourists to Zimbabwe to work with AIDS orphans in 2007. A Rooney International Scholar in 2012. Congratulations. You worked at Robert Morris University, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. Love it. My dad's from Pittsburgh.
I love Pittsburgh.
Yeah, my family is still there from his side. So hailing to Pennsylvania. Love it. She's a mother of 3 children and well-known African storyteller, poet, artist, and published author. She's a script writer and an independent filmmaker. She writes for CNN Report, blogs for the Huffington Post. She's an actress in the movie Cry Freedom with Denzel Washington in 1987, and she was a speaker at the UN Annual Summit on the Status of Women in 2014 and then again in 2017. What's not on here that I also know about is you are a multiple TED Talk speaker. Welcome, Getrude.
Thank you so much, Susan. It's good to be here.
Yeah, you and I have this huge vision that we are stepping into and creating here. And I'd love for you, would you start there and tell us how that came to be?
Oh, so the Her Story Women's Global Empowerment Circle.
Yes,
Hey.
that's a mouthful.
It is a bit of a mouthful. This vision came in a dream, and it was like I was dreaming with my eyes open, sitting on this couch. I had been involved in a biking accident. I was recovering from heart failure. And my husband bought me an electric bike so I could lose weight. And I had biked all the way to the city and back. and I was knocked off my bike by a male biker coming in the opposite direction and rush hour traffic, and I fell onto oncoming traffic on the motorway. And I remember as my head hit the tarmac on the left, seeing this big truck coming for the left-hand side of my head. I don't know why I'm still here, Susan. I think I do believe that the work isn't done yet, but I must have curled into a fetal position. I could feel the wind of the tire brushing my cheek, and this truck stopping and the driver coming back to help pick me up. And he was as white as a sheet and just shaking and saying, "I do not know how I missed you. I don't know how I missed you." I came out of that accident with a small scratch on my finger, my elbow, my knee, but badly bruised on the whole left-hand side of my body. And for 2 weeks, I could not move. I sat on this couch in pain, and I realized it felt like an energetic hit, like something had stopped me. And so I went back into my meditation every morning. And the question I would ask when I went in was, what is my next step? What is my next step? And it was 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm sitting here and this A4 piece of paper shows up in front of my eyes with circles of women sitting in a circle of 10. And then there were lines that connected them to another circle of women sitting in a circle of 10. And I thought, that's a bit weird. What is that? Am I supposed to be connecting women in some way? And as a joke, I posted on Facebook that I would like to start women's circles and connect women in groups of 10 all over the world and host a series of events or conferences. And in 48 hours with no advertising, no marketing, my little post went viral and 2,500 women responded in 280 locations across the globe.
Wow.
And that's when I realized I had hit on something really big. And I just went crazy. And the theme for the first events was making the impossible possible. And my vision was to bring 100 women to speak. And each woman had to invite 10 friends. So there's 1,000 women at every event. And curate 1,000 events around the world, because 1,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000 women connected in a year.
Wow.
So we just went crazy. We launched in Las Vegas in July last year. We had a conference here in Wellington. We had one in Sydney, Australia. Beginning of the year, I headed off to Norway. I went to London. I came to New York, and then COVID-19 bit me on the butt, and I had to stop and come back to New Zealand. I did manage to squeeze in 3 more events in Brisbane, Australia, one in Hamilton, New Zealand, and Auckland, New Zealand, before we had to stop and pivot and rethink how we're going to do this smarter. The vision and the mission is still the same. And so for now, we are pivoting and having our first online summit from the 28th of November to the 13th of December in different time zones around the world. So I'm really excited about that.
I am too. I just can see this vision and mission that you have. And it's something bigger than what we originally thought was going to take place. Because it's not business oriented. They're just business oriented. It's not just, health oriented. It's not just, women's rights oriented. It is, a full circle. It's everything with women, about women, and for women.
Yeah, we're trying to make it completely holistic. I mean, the broad 6 themes are business and entrepreneurship, health and wellness, family and relationships, spirituality, social justice. And in the creativity section, we're inviting dancers, musicians, poets. If you can dance, come and dance. If you sing, come and sing. If you paint, come and paint a picture. But you just have 15 minutes to do it. So everybody has 15 minutes.
We like to give that a thumbs up, smiley face. Woohoo! We are excited. Yeah, so there's no limit, really.
Yeah. And what's inspiring is that with such a broad variety of subjects, people won't get bored. You're not just coming to an event and listening to a group of business women speaking. You know, in the family and relationship section, we get a lot of sad stories of sexual abuse, domestic violence.
Yeah.
And so we would follow up a presentation like that with somebody who works in a gym and gets us all to move, or somebody who dances. So I infuse a lot of my events with African dancing. So look out, ladies, you will learn to shake what your mama gave you when you come to these events. And, lots of African drumming and African music. So I'm really excited to bring this to the world.
Yeah, you know, and Ashni, you know, you and I might be able to speak to this together. We were just at the beach here in Florida, Getrude, and we were talking about earthing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And oceaning. We came up with the new word, oceaning. Just
Very
grounding,
nice.
being in all the elements that are available when you go, that are part of us, you know, and just like how to tune into that and be, not just be happy or be energized, or be
Be present.
how we as a person, as an individual, how we be. And that's the new thing.
Yeah, so it's interesting because when we do start the events, the reason why I use African drumming and African music is because the African drumming rhythm has a way of getting you back into your skin. So a lot of times when people go to events, they're worrying about something they're supposed to do after an event or something they should be doing right now. And so they're not really inside their skin. And when you get people to dance and move, they reconnect with their being. So that's really quite pivotal. And it's interesting because the ethos of this event is an African philosophy called Ubuntu. And Ubuntu explains and articulates the condition of being human, to be a human being. So we believe that without you, I don't exist, and without me, you don't exist. It's in the acknowledgement of each other's humanity that we are human, that we are being human. So I'm really glad you brought that up. It's a very, very strong and pivotal part of what we do and who we are. And the pillars of Ubuntu are empathy, compassion, connection, and collaboration. Just like what we're doing now, we're connecting, we're fully present and being here in this moment. We're collaborating, and who knows the magic that will unfold from today. So I'm really excited that I have you guys in my play box.
Yeah.
We're
And
excited.
feel free to come in, Ashley and Jamie. Because, yeah, you know, Gertrude, the grounding that we were just talking about is something that we feel is sort of missing, because we used to have that when we would go to work, and you'd get to work and you'd be in your chair, or you'd be at your desk, or you would be, you know, absolved with work that was going on. Or if you were a teacher at school and you were with kids, or with you're a parent and you're getting your kids ready, or you were coming home. And since COVID, there's like none of those boundaries anymore.
And time is just merging into each other. I mean, I have days when I ask my husband, what day is it today? And it's Friday, and I thought it was Monday. The normal routine has gone. But the other thing about grounding that I found is that a lot of people don't take off their shoes anymore. You know, I've got a small patch of grass upstairs, and sometimes I just take off my shoes and I go and step on the grass and really earth myself and ground myself. And it sounds like that's what you girls were doing on the beach.
Oh, it was so wonderful. Oh my goodness. It was just awesome. I think Susan did a live.
We knew how to do this. As children, we knew how to do this. We did it without being told or taught. It was just instinctive. You get off your shoes and run on the beach and connect.
Yes.
A
And
lot
it's
of
really
relearning.
important. It's really important as human beings, as we are. Even if you live in a building like one of these the cities that don't have a balcony or something, look out the window, look at the sky, just connecting with that sky, seeing clouds, or if it's gray, so what, you know. Now fall is coming here in the US, so you have a lot of people who are kind of like, oh, it's gonna be cold. oh, we have Bella who's joining us in the conversation in the corner. But there are a lot of people who kind of like get depressed with the weather. And I'm like, hey, it is what it is. You can always find something good that can come out of it. It's like shake up, come back. And
tell me about this piece of grass you have upstairs. Did you guys catch that? I'm like,
yeah, she did say upstairs.
Patch of grass.
So I live on a hill. My house is kind of on a hill, and it's very difficult to, the sea is like 5 minutes away by car, but my house is built on 3 levels, and on the top level, I have got this little patch of grass, and it just so reminds me of being here in the home, experiencing nature when I can. Every once in a while, I'll go out there and just put my feet on the grass. And it's an incredible experience because you can get so used to just living in your house and minimizing your contact to nature. I am lucky that our section is just native bush. We have a nature reserve right next door. So I can go walking in this just exquisite environment. I feel so blessed to be where I am. New Zealand is one of the most pristine environments in the world. I sometimes look at my life and think I survived one pandemic already. So the AIDS pandemic happened when I was 17, 18 in Africa, watching family and friends dying of the virus. And I get to survive the second pandemic in one of the safest places in the world. Our government locked down fast and we're living, life is just back to normal for us here. And watching what's happening in the rest of the world, it's I feel really blessed. Very, very blessed.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because New Zealand sees the sun first.
First country to see the sun. So this is my Saturday, 10:30 in the morning while you guys are getting ready to go to sleep.
Like we're in your past and you're in our future.
Exactly. You're talking to somebody in the future. How cool is that?
Right. And we're all talking about grounding.
Yes.
Being present, whether you're here or in the future or in the past. Like, what if it's all connected? And I so believe, Gertrude, that all the women that will be speaking at your conference have been led to speak about something that is, heartfelt, a personal experience that they have had in their life where, something like shifted for them.
And that's kind of what we try and do when we coach and mentor all of our speakers. None of our speakers, some are professional, majority are first-time speakers. I'm trying to create a platform for that woman who's never used her voice to harness the power of that and to share her story. I'm also trying to make sure that in the sharing of the stories, you don't get stuck in the past, that you're telling it from the present and from a very empowered space. So, things happen to women globally. The sexual abuse, domestic violence stories there's so many of them. And especially now in what's happening with COVID, that violence has gone up in the homes. But what we try and do is say, talk as if you're speaking to somebody else who's in your position right now, who's needing to be uplifted, who's needing to be inspired. What would you say to that woman to help her get out of the situation she's in? And the magic unfolds from there. And being present, there is only this moment. There is no tomorrow. There's no yesterday. We can only just be centered and be with each other in the very moment that you connect. And I think that's really important and powerful too.
Absolutely. Are you looking for a specific genre of women?
We look for women from all walks of life who feel they have a story inside them to tell. They say about the richest places in the world are graveyards because they're full of people who had the most amazing life stories. amazing knowledge, ideas, and they didn't have the courage to just voice it. So we curate the stories in a number of ways. We're a digital platform that curates the videos. We curate the stories in a series of books. We've got a Her Story magazine. So you not only come to speak, you get published as well, and you walk away from this experience as a published author. So I'm really excited about that, because a lot of women don't realize that they can repurpose their intellectual IP, that your ideas can be repackaged, your personal experience can be turned into a workshop where you help women in an abuse center, women who've been battered, and you've gone through that experience and you show them how to get out. You could be a woman who's created a business process and you create a board game. So every year I get the pleasure of going to the Frankfurt Book Fair, and I help women sell their intellectual ideas. We help you repurpose, repackage, and brand yourself as an expert. And not to minimize your story. You know, every story is important. Every story has value. So your story could end up being a movie. You just don't know how to take it. So I'm excited to work with women. And I think I show up as a mirror for most women. And all I do is reflect back to them who they are.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to do with our platform.
Yes, absolutely. I love how you talk about your information that you are sharing with women. So it's like they have a story and you're helping them as a professional storyteller.
Yes.
To capture that, and then how to retell it with, you know, meaning and feeling and contribution. And the shift and the change that happens in those that are listening is, you know, just on a quantum field level, like humongous. And as people change, you know, their field of residence, so do those around them.
And the funny thing is, it's also a healing space. It's a place where we hold space for each other just to be heard. You know, in Africa, we believe that a problem shared is a problem halved. So the minute you tell your story and you share your problem with someone else, they are now carrying that story with you. You feel better immediately. And what I love is that I have healed, you know, in the last 6 months. My mother died during COVID-19, and I couldn't go back to Zimbabwe for her funeral. But the more I talk about it, the better I'm healing. When I was bottling it up and I kept it to myself, I think I told you I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Right.
I got off Facebook at that time. I couldn't face people. I couldn't be myself.
Yes.
But when I started talking about her and what that felt like, it's helping me heal. So that's something else about sharing stories. You not only heal somebody else, you're healing yourself too. And I know a lot of people right now know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You've been cut off from family, from friends. Things are happening and you feel so powerless. You feel like you can't do anything. But you can do a lot by just sharing what you've experienced. I was fortunate in that my family all got online. We had a Zoom funeral. My brother live streamed the whole thing from Africa. And so we were able to share, you know, and this is the beauty of the internet, Susan. The internet has flattened the world. That we are so connected right now as a race because of this amazing tool called the internet.
Yeah.
And when I've been reaching out to random strangers on LinkedIn and giving them this opportunity to speak, we are getting responses like we have never done before. And I know it's because people are seeking connection right now. And we are going to scale her story quicker and faster than I thought we would. And COVID is really, it's a gift to humanity. You know, when you think of how carbon emission has been cut in half because of the flights that have been canceled, when you look at the wildlife coming back into the cities, there is something magical happening with this crisis we see ourselves in. You know, the Chinese have the way they write the word crisis, it has two symbols. The one symbol stands for danger, the other symbol stands for opportunity. So depending on how you look at what's happening in the world, there is a massive opportunity for us to create a new paradigm. I don't think the world will ever go back to what it was before. We will never not appreciate our family, our friends like we do now. I dropped people in my life who were not feeding my soul. That's why I got off Facebook. I had a lot of people in my environment who would just take from me and not give anything back. And it allowed me to drop all of those people and really prioritize what was important in my life. And it was my family. It was the friends that really get me. And like you said, the people who are coming to her story are of a certain vibration. They get it. They know what they're trying to do. And, you know, her story is a bridge between the women in the Western world and women in the developing world. So we can help pull our sisters up. It's an empowerment platform. I've had a few people who've said they don't want to join because they're paid speakers. And again, I have to tell people it's not a paid speaking platform. It's a place for you to make a difference in the world, because we find women in our communities in every location where we host an event. We find those unsung heroes, that woman who has a soup kitchen, who feeds 100 people every day, and we try and raise money to support her by selling the books that we curate. We look for somebody who's working with disabled children. We rarely go for grassroots projects, so that as a collective, if we raise $10,000, we can quantify our impact. So we're a social impact movement. And that's something that a lot of people don't quite get when they hear about her story. They think it's just an opportunity for you to speak. No, we are creating an army of women who want to make a difference in the world, in uplifting humanity and uplifting each other.
I love what you're saying.
This is
I love it.
awesome.
I feel like today is the day and now is the time, sister.
And until women start to realize that our strength comes in our numbers.
Yes.
It comes when we start collaborating and working together and lifting each other. We're not going to change anything. And we do allow men to speak as well, by the way. So if anybody has an enlightened husband or son or anybody out there of the male persuasion, I believe that until women start bringing men to the table, we will not change the condition of women worldwide. So if there are any men who are persuaded to become a speaker, come and share your story.
Yeah. Define masculine and feminine. There's no separation.
No. You know, I have sons. I have 2 boys and a girl. And I want my boys to be those enlightened men who understand women's issues, who know how to treat their wives and their partners.
Yeah.
So I bring them to the table as well. I think it's really important.
Conscious men.
Yeah.
That's what
It's very interesting that you bring that up. It's very interesting that you bring that up. Yesterday, this is something that just happened. It's in the past, but I'll go there. I am going there. So I went to the Sam's Club. You know, like they sell things in bulk, and I was like, okay, let me just go and see. I just went to see and look at some prices because I'm thinking of like sending some stuff home. And I'm walking around and I come out. I picked up a gallon of milk and one more thing, 2 things. And I walk out. And so you buy things in bulk. It's really heavy stuff. Like you can't have like 1 roll of toilet paper. If you buy it, it's like a whole,
like a cake,
like 36 or something like that. If you buy oil, it's like, so.
Yeah, toilet paper.
You have like some strength when you go and put your stuff in the trunk, right? So next to my car is parked, and I have these 2 things, so I'm just walking. I don't need to put any. And next to my car is a car facing like he backed in, so the nose of the car is pointed out, and the trunk is open, and the man is sitting behind the wheel, looking at the receipt, going through things, and the woman she was of a petite structure, like small, not so. I'm small. I'm like petite. I'm bigger than her, and she's in the back there with that shopping cart, taking everything out one by one and putting it in the trunk. And the man is just sitting there, no awareness that, hey. And I saw her struggling to pick up like one of these things. I don't even remember what it was, coconut water or something, like a whole tray of maybe like 36. And she was gonna fall over. So I went and I helped. I gave a hand. And I was like, I wanted to say something to this man, and then something in me was like, you're gonna waste your words
No,
because
but
he
you
does not.
already said something. You already said it by doing.
I did, but to me it was like he doesn't even have the awareness to know that this woman is doing it this by herself over there. She could have fallen over. She could have like hurt herself on the shopping cart. But and then when he was driving away, he nodded like, "Thank you." I wanted to be like, "This is the finger. This is what you get." But I did not. I just looked like, holy moly, God bless him.
Can
That's
I,
all I
can
did.
I, don't get me started about the hoarding of toilet paper. Do you know where that came from? It
I was
started
like,
in Australia.
of all products to pick, she picks toilet
Australia.
paper to talk about.
What happened was this. In Australia, the Chinese Australians heard that they had run out of masks in China, and they were buying toilet paper in bulk, and they were shipping it to China to family.
Okay.
Then everybody caught on, but didn't realize the real reason why they were hoarding and buying toilet paper in bulk. And there's one guy in Australia who bought $90,000 worth of loo paper, wanting to resell it because he knew there was going to be a shortage. And when he tried to take it back to, because we've got a Costco's, which is like Sam's Club
Yes.
in Australia, they wouldn't take it back. So this man's got a house full of loo paper.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, and you see, people are living in a sense of not enoughness right now. This,
Yeah.
the whole hoarding mentality is there's not going to be enough. And yet
But
we
there
live in
is.
an
Yeah, but
abandoned
there is
universe.
enough. There is enough for everyone. Oh, why I was telling this story or what happened yesterday, because you said you have two sons and you
Yes.
want your sons to be gentlemen. So that's one of the reasons why I said it. And I want to thank you for being such a mom who has so much of awareness and who has 20/20 vision. That you're bringing up your boys to be in alignment and to know what, and there is no boys jobs and girls jobs. That's not how I grew up, and I come from an Indian background.
And I come from an
That helps
African
you a lot. There is no girls do this and boys do this. No, everyone does
No.
everything. So it's like if it
Yeah.
can work where I come from, it can work anywhere.
Oh, it's just been incredible. I do love my life and where it's at right now. You know, when I look at where I came from, so you're talking about the distribution of labor in Africa, the women are the mules. The women are the ones who will carry a 50 kg bag of corn to go and get the corn ground on her head with a baby on her back and another one on her side. So when I moved to New Zealand, I made sure that my sons grew up in an environment where there was an equal division of labor. I have one daughter, and everybody had chores and everybody helped out. And I think I have brought up three amazing human beings. My daughter is very, very centered, very strong, she's just the most amazing woman you will ever meet. I am so proud of her. And my boys are strong men, but soft inside, you know. They know how to take care of their partners, and we are the ones responsible for the next generation of men who are coming up in the world.
Mm.
The responsibility is on us as mothers to do that for our sons and for our daughters. To show our daughters that they can be soft, but they can be strong at the same time. So it's an exciting time we're living through. Very, very exciting.
It is. Like, there has never been, this kind of a global environment ever in the history of, all of our lives. You can go back a century, 100 years, and there has never been not only the trauma, drama, but also the mystery and intrigue that have come along with it. And when we were, as consciousness revolutionaries, we're here to like shift and be pattern interrupters. And I love what you're saying about the global pandemic, because it's creating a different way of showing up in the world that we didn't have available before, because we were so wearing masks on. We had our business mask, our relationship mask, our parenting mask. And so all of that was blown up. And now we're sort of, being able to choose something different. And I love the Her Story Circle, because it's bringing, tons of men and women together to create a different possibility for all of humanity in the world. And as each person lifts up the next one, it's like the global meditation that they've had, and the resonance on the planet is going to be increased. And even though this first launch that you have is only like 12 days, but it's going to hit so many different time zones in so many different countries that that is going to then expand out. So I know you have a link for women. Would you share that?
Yes. So it's the herstorycircle.com. I will put that in the chat. Please feel free to register and invite those men.
Yes.
herstorycircle.com. And please mention that you have registered because you watch this show. We want to see how many people we can enroll.
Yeah, I think we have a link that you've given the High Vibe Tribe.
Oh, actually, yes, put that in the chat. That's actually better. Yeah, then we can track.
Yeah, and then that will kind of like circulate through. So even the application process is a gift and a contribution, and it helps people hone in as to who they are, right? Like that original vibrational frequency, and where it's going to go. So what do you see, Getrude? Where do you see this going? Where do you see this happening in the future?
Well, they say that you just need to reach a critical mass for the tipping point to take place. I know that this isn't a platform that is going to attract everybody, but it will attract the right somebodies.
Yeah.
And so when you go 10 by 10, you start with 10, you 10 tell friends you have 100. You tell 10 friends you have 1,000. You tell 10 friends you have 10,000. You tell 10 friends you have 100,000. You tell 10 friends you have 1 million. So that's what really excites me. It's that 10 by 10 multiplier effect. We are going to scale so quick, so fast. I mean, the hairs on my arms are standing right now. I knew when people responded with no advertising on Facebook that I had hit on something. Women were already marching and connecting through the Me Too movement. But for me to march holding a placard and not having something else I can do with that energy feels like a waste of time. So now we're saying, how can we harness our pain? How can we harness our experiences? How can we change women's experiences worldwide using this platform? And it's going to be incredible. I'm really excited.
I'm ecstatic about being able to contribute to you this vision that you were gifted. Really, you were sort of like on your deathbed when you think about it. Like the very couch you created this on is also the one that you were immobilized on. So take a look at that polarity. It's like hidden inside your biggest problem truly was your greatest possibility.
Yeah, and that's the thing about challenges. I've had a life where things have fallen apart. I went through a separation, a divorce, and just a lot of sadness in the last 3 years. I lost both my parents in a period of 18 months apart. And I read in a book the other day a quote that said, sometimes when things are falling apart, they're actually falling into place. I do believe that that is very, very true, because you have in your head a construct of how it's going to be, how you're going to create something, and then it doesn't work out that way. So now when things are going wrong, I kind of get a bit excited. I'm like, what's going on here? So every hurdle that's coming in my path, instead of jumping over it, I turn it over, and just underneath it is a gift. And it's unfolding so beautifully, and with the slowness of a rose unfolding. They say that you can't force a rose to bloom. It just does it in its time. And that's why I'm saying it will be gentle in the beginning. And when we reach that critical mass, we will sit and have a conversation a year from now, and you'll say, Gertrude, look what you did. Look what we did, because we are literally co-creating it together. Mm-hmm. Every single woman, every single person who's listening to this interview is going to tell 10 friends. And that's part of the co-creation process. It's not my idea. We're creating this together, and it's this meeting of minds that has just really blown me away. I had a small picture of what it could look like, but when I started connecting and engaging with other women, they really blew it out of the park, and I'm excited. I wake up every day, and every day is Christmas.
There's always a new gift underneath the tree. I love it. Janie, you and I had talked about getting you on the Her Story Circle. What are your thoughts now about hearing more about it?
I love it. She was talking about her link, and I was like, yep, I want that.
Yeah, Janie, as a galactic coder, decoder, and director, she just has these codes come with her. It's sort of like, do you know how like you have like a resonance or an essence, or like we have this like organic smell, this fragrance, yes, an organic fragrance, that is Janie on a galactic level. Like she just has these codes, and as she's walking in her auric field, you can see these codes that are coming in, and she's just like, it's almost like Frozen. Have you seen that movie, Getrude?
I have a 6-year-old stepdaughter. I've watched it 1,000 times.
Yeah. So the part where she's like climbing up the mountain, and she takes her glove off, and she goes like this, and like this, and like this, and like the snow curls around. It's like, that's Janie. She just like is there, and she's like, yep, having it, doing it, being it. And these codes just kind of like fling off, and they just, enter into your, etheric field, and you get like this upgrade. It's incredible. Like she's encoding all of this here with us. So, Janie, I'm excited for you.
Because, I always felt that when I made the decision to incarnate in this beautiful brown skin as a chocolate brown African woman, you said a word earlier, Susan, you said we are disruptors. I came to disrupt the African narrative. I came to change a story, because a lot of African people have been sold a lie that we are poor.
Yeah.
Africa is probably one of the richest continents on the planet. There is nothing we don't have, from gold to oil to diamonds to every single mineral under the sun. What is missing is a shift in mindset, in realizing that we sit on the acres of diamonds and we don't even see it. I grew up in a small village eating organic food. I learned the word organic when I left Africa. I bought an apple. I was in London. It looked nice. It tasted like shit. And I thought, what the hell is this? But because we are so poor, we haven't contaminated our soil with pesticides and all of these chemicals.
Yes.
We are the breadbasket of the world.
Yes.
And so I knew that when I incarnated, my mission was to change the narrative, to disrupt the story.
Yes.
And get people to think differently about where they are.
Yes.
What they have.
Yes.
And everything is mindset. Even this sense of not enoughness in the world. It's all up here in our heads.
Yeah.
There's enough in this universe to go around. There's enough for everybody. So that's what excites me is let's wake people up. We've been sleepwalking through life most of our lives, and it's time to wake up. And COVID-19 has made us stop. It's made us pause.
Yes.
It's made us see the world for what it really is.
Yes.
And you get to decide. You get to choose.
Yes.
What is the next paradigm going to be?
Yes. It's so
Jane,
bright. It's so bright. I needed to wear my sunglasses. Our futures are so bright. Right? It's like, whoa. Whoa. Hello.
So, Janie, whatever you're doing, it's either my hot flushes or
or what we call D, all of the above.
I jumped in my ice cold pool today because I was doing the same thing earlier. It was like ripping.
Oh my gosh, I love this. This has been a very, very fascinating experience.
You know what's interesting is one of our other high vibe tribers is Priscilla Gendron, and she's from South Africa.
Okay.
And so she was saying today that you girl, I have a fan on like 20. We're burning up the airwaves. That's what we're doing.
Oh gosh, I need that fan right now. But whatever it is, bring it on. It feels good.
Yeah. And so Africa, you know, and Getrude, I think you've talked about this, but it's when all of the land on the earth was all one. We were all together before the earthquake or the plate shift separated us.
Yes.
The oceans. Like Africa was the heart.
Every single human being on the planet came from the cradle of Africa. And it's just time for us to reconnect. It's time for us to learn from her old ways, these ancient ways of being, because, you know, I was working on my next TED Talk just before all of this happened. And the title is something like, imagine for a moment if we could solve the world's problems like our blood heals wounds. So my grandmother used to describe Ubuntu in this way. She would say that the human race is like the human body. We are an organism. We are one.
Yeah.
So if you cut your finger and you start to bleed, your white blood cells will rush to that point to heal it. In a week's time, you can't even see the scar. And that's how we should be reacting and responding to each other in the world.
Yeah.
So that if there is an earthquake in Haiti and the 7 billion people on the planet gave $1 each to Haiti, we can restore a country in a day as a collective.
Yeah.
But we're living in this sense of not enoughness. We're living in a sense it's about them, not us. It's about you and me, but there is only we. So Ubuntu is about the we philosophy, realizing that we are an organism. And right now, Susan, if you sneeze, it's affecting me here in New Zealand. Do you realize that? We have gone through level 4 lockdown. The whole country had unlocked. A container comes in from the US, a meat packing factory. It infected people in Auckland. And they sequenced the genome of that virus back to the United States. This is how powerful this all is. They can sequence exactly where the virus is coming from. So we are a breath away at infecting or affecting each other.
Damn, out here in the States. Those staters.
The United States is not very popular in New Zealand.
If we're going to be sick, everybody's got to be sick with us.
So if one of us is not okay as a race, we're all not okay. And that's what COVID-19 has come to teach us.
Absolutely. It's definitely about the power of sharing and caring and being in service.
Yeah.
You know, that is one of the reasons why you've created what you've created. And we're here now co-creating this connection with you. Because it's all about love and gratitude, and anything else that is not of those high vibrational frequencies, you know, actually are tethers, and they keep us here and they keep us low vibration. And so, because like attracts like, Getrude, I know you know this. I'm speaking to the choir, but that's what you attract. You attract more of that. So, loving what you're creating, because it's actually giving women and men the opportunity to raise their frequency and to be around other people that are also of a higher vibrational frequency. And how could it get better than this, right?
And it's when all of those dots connect,
yes,
that the power will go out exponentially.
Love it.
So,
thank you.
Thank you, guys. This has been an amazing experience connecting with you. I kind of feel like you're all my sisters from another mother. We speak the same language. We're on the same level of understanding what's going on in the world.
We
and it's
feel the very same way. Yeah. Do you have any last minute thoughts? Let's start with Acme. About what Getrude is creating and what the invitation that she is to men and women all around the world.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I had myself on mute because it's raining outside the window and the window is open, so it was gonna just bring all of this out. I think this is so awesome, however it came, Gertrude, that you are doing this, and it's not you. You just were the instrument to bring it all together, and you have created that platform for all these amazing new things that are going to unfold, to bring them into one place. We don't know who all are going to connect when they show up at the platform. We don't know who is going to benefit from what, shared by whom. It's just all, you were willing to be it and you created it. So that's where you are bringing it to all of us. And by being a part of it, the we becomes bigger and bigger and so much stronger, because who knows where this is going to be. So thank you on behalf of humanity, on behalf of all the women. I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Janie, sweetheart, what would you like to share in closing thoughts today?
Which one? Pick one. There's something with Africa, and well, it's been showing up a lot lately. Getrude, have you heard of Michael Tullinger?
Yes.
So
I found him.
Yeah, I found him on Gaia, so I watched his whole entire episode, and that was the first time, and this wasn't very long ago, like a couple months, that Africa is like this really rich, amazing place, and energetically awesome, right? Yeah, so then we meet Priscilla, and then we're on the summit in South Africa, and kind of continue. And I know this sounds kind of weird, but one of my sons has a quail, which I still have, and she decided she was a girl the other day and started laying eggs.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, she was supposed to do this a couple months. She's just a little late. I'm like, well, it's got to be a boy because there's no eggs. And then she's like, look what I did. Have an egg. But her second egg, she has cream-colored eggs with purple spots. And it has like the continent of Africa in a big spot on this second egg. And I was like,
oh, wow.
There's Africa again. And then here we are today, and you're talking about Ubuntu and how, all this. Yeah. So thank you for being, another pattern interrupter and change maker.
Absolute pleasure.
it feels like Africa wants to be known, and whatever its best kept secret is, it feels like
This
now
is the time.
today is the day. Yeah. And I'm really excited to connect with you more about your her story.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you.
So one thing I want to close with, Susan. My last TED Talk was called Ubuntu 4.0. No, 2.0, Humanity's Operating System. So a lot of people who will Google, Ubuntu is spelled Ubuntu.
Uh-huh.
You Google the word, you will find Linux software. It's an operating system for Linux. But Linux did not acknowledge where they got the concept from. The platform was built on this African philosophy. So a lot of geeks, a lot of IT people will know Ubuntu as an operating system. So I did a TED Talk called Ubuntu 2.0. And I want to finish with this on how to install this operating system in your lives. Put your family first. It starts at home with you having authentic connections with your husband, your children, your mother, your father. It starts in your home. You put your community next. And by community, I'm talking about your next door neighbor, that old lady who can't go to the supermarket. How often do you go past your house and just wave and say hello? It's that stranger that you stand with in a bank queue. You could be in an elevator, and instead of facing the door, you face the other way and you say hi to everybody like a crazy lunatic, like what I do, and make people laugh. You just don't know. Somebody hasn't had connection with someone the whole week, the whole day. And then when you finish with your family and your community, do something somewhere else in the world to make a difference. And that's how simply you can install the Ubuntu operating system. It's your family first, your community next. If you have something to spare, do something somewhere else in the world. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Getrude, for being here and for sharing this with all of us, with your High Vibe Tribe, because that is our target, is to create different possibilities here on the planet. I am your Earth Empress, Susan Shatzer, and I hail worldwide. And I am so grateful everyone who is showing up here and playing with us today. And also, looking forward to seeing you in the future, because Getrude, we share this live stream with our partners, and we co-created a collaboration with multiple, like 20 some odd different groups. And, they post with us and we post with them. And it's this, collaboration that's been like unheard of before.
Oh, wow.
When you add up all of their members, it's in the million category.
Wow.
We're incredibly blessed to bring your mission, your vision, and you to all of them all around the world.
Yes.
Well, I'm blessed that you considered me. Thank you so much.
You
Wow.
are so welcome. Holy cow! This is now the time. Oh, Ashni has something else.
Yes, I have something else. Me, yes. For those who have not yet registered, our unmasking, reveal the mask workshop is on Saturday, the 31st, which is next Saturday, not tomorrow. Saturday the 31st. You can still get your tickets, and that means next Friday you may not see us here, because we'll be all preparing our masks to take them off on Saturday morning, the 31st, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So anyone, come, we'll have fun and we'll take off our masks. Who knows who's behind that?
Whoa.
That was my last thing. I wanted to make sure that we put it in there. And thank you again, Gertrude. It was so nice to be with you. It was so nice to be with you.
Too.
So nice.
I'm right here in my lounge, ladies. What a fantastic way to start my day. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Suki is saying wonderful, inspirational women and words. Suki is one of our guest speakers. She's from England.
Yes.
Hey, Suki.
And we'll be seeing her. She'll be facilitating the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Wonderful.
For spring, they're so excited. Woohoo! Love it. Love it. So much fun. So we're going to go out with a bang. We're going to dance out with all of you. Woohoo! Grab your tickets. Woohoo! It's $8 because 8 is great. 8 is the infinite possibilities. Woohoo! It's also money. Love it.
You couch dancing, Susan.
I love it. Woohoo! We got to get you all one of these fans. So when Janie galactically codes all of you,
Right?
Oh gosh.
you'll have it. Until we get to meet you in the future someday. Ciao for now, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Getrude. Bye, Janie. Bye, Ashley.
Bye-bye.